Hi, this is Kinch, and I'm going to show you the Hexproof deck in action in a Pauper matchup. My opponent uh, was playing a Fissure Storm deck, um, so it's very kind of combo-y, control-y. Um, I've played it against with Affinity, and it's just, I don't know, these kind of decks kind of just make me want to grind my teeth. They do all sorts of tapping and untapping and casting, and nothing seems to happen. But uh, it is a combo deck. Um, I think they're looking to combo the Temporal Fissure, force a bunch of stuff back into your hand, and they play um, a big, um, I think it's Ulamog's Crusher or something like that. Um, that when it attacks you, the defender has to sacrifice 2 permanents. Um, so that's what the deck is about. Otherwise, it's just kind of stalling. Um, but don't take my word for it because I'm not an expert. I don't play that deck. I don't ever intend on playing that deck. Um, but I've played against it several times, and most of the times I lose because I'm just impatient and tired of watching them flip things around. So I won the die roll, and I decided to go first, naturally, being a very aggressive deck. And my hand here is 3 lands, Lush Growth, a Bogle, and Ethereal Armor, which I'm going to keep. Obviously, it's a matter of how I want to go about it. The Guild Gates, you know, um, the more I've played with this deck, I think the Guild Gates are going to have to go because they really hurt. Um, you want to be able to drop a land and tap it. Then the Guild Gates come in tapped, and it just causes some problems I don't think that I want to have to deal with. Um, it's just not worth having that extra mana. It might be better just to have forests, maybe add 2 more forests, drop 2, I have 4 guild gates, drop 2 of the guild gates, or all the guild gates, drop 2 forests, add 2 more mana type enchantments or land enchantments. Um, I mean, you don't want to have to play plains, but things like lush growth, um, I mean, you don't need enchanted land is a mountain, forest, and a plains. I don't, and the other one taps for any kind of mana, and the other one I have taps for a specific kind that you call, which is going to be white. So my sense is the guild gates are just too slow here. Um, so we'll see. So I play the Bogle first because the idea is if I draw, doesn't matter really what I draw here, because I'll be able to drop a forest, play the lush growth, uh, then tap for white, play the ethereal armor on the Bogle, and be bashing for 3 right away. I mean, it's just kind of a very racy kind of deck. Um, so if he happens to drop a red card and play electricity on me, that's the only card I really am afraid of right here. But hey, let's see it. I have a Gnarlid here, so I'm not really too worried about it. So he drops blue in an expedition map. Um, so yeah, I figure I'm playing against some. They want to go fishing their for their posts, either their cloud posts or their glimmer posts. You know, almost assuredly the cloud post. And I draw an armadillo cloak. So this guy's going to become kind of nasty. Um, and since I got a really good draw, and I play the lush growth on this, then I tap for white, put the ethereal armor. He's 3/3, and he's pretty much untouchable now. I mean, this deck is not going to have any answer for the Bogle. Bash for 3. So if you're in his shoes, I mean, what, you know, he's thinking, what the hell? Um, what should I do here? I should tap my expedition map several times. So he goes and he finds... Is there anything revealed here? Yeah, he went and got a cloud post. Um, why is that? Oh, this preview thing just goes away for whatever reason. Cloud post, which is a huge mana ramp kind of thing. Okay. And it's going to be coming to play tap, and I think the deck's too slow to deal with this. See, now this is why the guild gates. You know, if those had been any kind of regular land, I would just drop them and play an Armadillo Cloak on him and bash. So that would give me a 6/6. Yeah. So I'm thinking I need to get rid of these guild gates. So that's a deck construction thing. Again, it's just a list that I took from someone else, and I want to play a bunch of games with it to see how it reacts. I don't think it's a top tier Pauper deck in the current metagame. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. It seems more roguish, but it is kind of fun to play. You know, it looks like a total noob deck. Noob putting enchantments on stuff and constructed. But it's, you know, it's kind of hard to deal with these hexproof guys. So yeah, guild gate, and I really don't have another play, so I just bash. So he's on 14. Places cloud post. This is, you know, it's not going to be untapped. And a prism. He doesn't really have anything to deal with this. You just got to look for some crazy ass combo to pull off. And I'm going to be able to play Armadillo Cloak. I don't think this particular deck has counter spells. Any counters main deck? Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know the deck list. My sense is that it doesn't. It wants to build up a storm and shoot everything back into your hand. So I don't really think it's usually worried about things on the board as long as they can kind of stall it out. But the Bogle kind of screws up with that. So I draw a Ledge Walker, which really doesn't mean anything. I just drop the Guild Gate and play the Cloak and bash. 6/6 life gain. Yeah. Now he's down to 8. And if I drop a... Well, there are several enchantments I can get that would just kill him outright, but he gains some life from the Glimmer Post, gets him to 10, kind of buys him a turn. Yeah. Preordain. That's just gonna die, but I mean he's got to do something, right? Can't just give up. I'm sure he's hatching some sort of evil blue mage type of plan. So I play the Lush Growth. Now he's a 7/7. I think he's just going to block here. I'm on 33. Yeah, Armadillo Cloak's a little nuts. Okay, so he needs to find some way to deal with the Bogle, right? I mean, that's lethal right now. and he's got nothing. And I put up the Gnarlid, which is a 6/6. So I'm just basically saying, well, what you got? And he's going to show me. Starts playing stuff. Tapping, snap, return target creature to its owner's hand. So he snaps, he puts the Gnarlid back at me. That's the thing about the Gnarlid. He's not hexproof. Jerk. Snap, which then gets some of his mana back. At some point I should probably just count how much mana he spends in this thing. Now he plays Temporal Fissure after... the storm count was only 2. So I think he's going to be able to send 3 things back on me. So he cannot send back the Bogle. But he can, well, where's that preview? Yeah. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. So he's going to be able to, he's going to do 3. The question is which 3? Well, Armadillo Cloak, Ethereal Armor, and the third should probably be one of my forests, because then he'll kill a Lush Growth. But that still leaves me with 3 mana. And I could just drop the Armadillo Cloak back on him, and then shortly afterwards the other one. But that's, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? Whoops. Whoa, 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 whoa. So what did he send back into my hand? Both the forest with the Lush Growths and the Armadillo Cloak. But he left the Ethereal Armor there, and he left the Guild Gates, which I guess is good for his, for value, right? Because now the Lush Growths fall off, and this guy's much smaller. But I drop a forest, and I play the Armadillo Cloak, which I think is the most natural thing to do. And Bat swing in for 5. Now he's on 1. If the Magic Online developers are listening, I would like a way to control how fast the play goes. Or if there is one, I don't know where it is. Game... Nope, these are like chat windows. I do like a lot of the stuff here that they've done. Make the play feel a little bit more friendly. These exiled and revealed things are pretty cool off to the side. And the chat is detachable, which is very nice. I mean, it's definitely better than the old one. Anyway, that's an aside. So basically, he's still got to find now he's down to 1. He needs a blocker for the Bogle, or he needs to drop a Glimmer Post to get life or something. Because if he storms again, he's still going to have the Bogle to deal with. It's Mulder. He casts. He still needs to get rid of this stuff because I have Trample. So he snapped his own Mull Drifter. I guess to play it again. Although I don't see any blue available. I see 2 colorless and 1 of this. Did he drop a land? I'm looking at the chat outside of the window here. He plays Island, okay. Plays Island, casts Preordain, casts Mull Drifter, casts Snap targeting Mull Drifter. Um, well, yeah, that's the only thing he could do for snap. Oh, he hasn't untapped both lands. He's still. Oh, that's it's still on the stack. He's gonna untap an island. Dur. Yeah. Oh no, he's. Huh. He's got no access to. Well, maybe a prophetic prism. That's a curious way to tap your mana. So now he's got 6 colorless. Oh, well, I guess he got. Where did he get the other 8? Ulamog's Crusher. This is the one. Whenever this creature attacks, defending player sacrifices 2 permanents. So see how that could be a really good play if you are able to bounce. If you had a big enough storm count and bounce all my stuff and then put that down, it's just, everything that attacks, it hits you for 8. You got to sacrifice all your stuff. It's just a wrecking ball. I don't know if you guys played a long time ago, but back in Odyssey, I think it was. There was this card that would just drive you crazy, called Braids. I don't have it here, but I should reset all my filters. And then Braids, Cabal Minion. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land. Which was a... I really hated seeing that card come down. Because if you didn't have a way to remove it, it was just a mess. Sacrificing your own stuff is always not my favorite thing to do. So anyway, Ulamog's Crusher. Braids on steroids, I guess. With none of the downside for the other team. So, he is now tapped out. I mean, I guess he could have a daze or something, but I'm not going to worry about that. I could drop a forest here. Well, I haven't drawn yet. Let's draw first. Okay. I drop a forest and play another Bogle and or the Gnarlid and 2 creatures. I am going to drop 2 creatures. I can't attack because the Crusher just takes it and kills my Bogle. That's not what I want to have happen. He's down to 1. I'm at 38. I can take lots of hits. But what I want to do is just play those creatures, and if I have to, I will sacrifice land and just, walk over there and hit him. So for that end, I probably should play the most expensive stuff I can. I would have 4 mana, probably Bogle and Gnarlid, because then if he attacks, I can sacrifice 2 lands and still play the Ledgewalker. So what did I do? Bogle? Oh, and the Ledgewalker. I'm not sold on that, but I think it's good either way. He's going to have to come up with 3 blockers. Or more than that. He's going to have to figure out a way to get rid of this 5/5 Trampler. And I think what he does here is attacks and sees if I do something stupid. So he plays a Mull Drifter. Okay. Plays a Snap, bringing back the Mull Drifter. Plays a Mull Drifter again, I would assume, because it keeps drawing cards off it. Yeah. Temporal Fissure for 3. Storm count 4. Oh, this is 3 when he played it. So he's going to send back 4 things. What does he target? He targeted the armor first of all. See, he can't target any of my creatures. I guess that's why I didn't play the Gnarlid, because he was not hexproof. So I'm still, no matter what, I'm going to have those three uh, available to me. Um, so did he target all these? I can't seem. Oh, yeah, I guess you can move that. Targets ethereal armor. Oh, he has to change the targets. Armadillo Cloak, Selesnya Guildgate, Forest. So, I mean, that's pretty much, you know, got to do what you got to do. I think he's just hoping I screw up. So then he attacks. He's not going to have a blocker. He's got no access to mana. He's not going to have any answer for this. I think he's just waiting to see if I sacrifice two creatures. No, of course you sacrifice the land. Yoink. And he gives up. So that's, that's pretty good. Once your guys get down and the deck has no way to answer them, they're pretty vicious. And this particular deck that I'm playing against is just too slow. I think he has to draw. If he's on the draw and I drop a Slippery Bogle or the elf Hexproof elf for 1 on turn 1, he's going to be screwed. Or even turn 2. I don't think there's any way for him to, unless he has a Daze in hand or something, which I don't know. I didn't see in this game 1 here. He just doesn't have any answers for it. So let's go to game 2 though, if I can. It's just a bad. I just think it's a bad matchup for him. Yeah, spoiler alert. And I think I played that fine. I don't really see anything. That's the thing about this deck. It doesn't seem to be making your game decisions are mostly about your sequencing and how you want to play things. You don't really have a ton of choices for interaction, which I guess is one of the reasons I don't think the deck is all that exciting, but it's not particularly interactive. But then I'm playing against a very non-interactive deck anyway. So I kept, or did I must have, I kept this because I had a Forest, a Lush Growth, and a Guildgate. Yeah, these Guildgates are killing me. I think we need to change those. This is a fine keep. And he draws a Cloud Post and says go. Okay. And I draw Forest. So I think what I was going to do here is Lush Growth doesn't give me any extra mana. So you go turn 1 Bogle, turn 2 Lush Growth on the land, Lush Growth, Ethereal Armor, and now you have a 3/3. I mean, you could also do the same thing for the Gladecover Scout, but he saw the Bogle before. He doesn't know. I don't know if he knows whether I have Gladecover Scouts or not, but there's really no particular advantage for me to show him, right? So I get to be a little bit paranoid about giving information to my opponents about my deck or what's in it or anything like that. I've fixed this particular, I don't know if you notice it, these forests are different, and that kind of drives me crazy. Because an attentive opponent, if there's some reason, for example, if he had done like a probe on me and he saw this forest and I did something stupid like draw this forest and then play it, well then now he knows what I drew on that last hand, right? Whereas if I just had another, I mean, there's ways to play around it, but I don't want to give him the possible advantage of knowing what I might have drawn through my carelessness. I fixed this in the deck now. I've made all the forests the same cards. Um, I haven't quite done that with the Guild Gates yet because I don't have 4 of the same art. Um, but it's little stuff like that, you know. If you're playing against an attentive and skillful opponent, that kind of stuff can really, you know, might not matter for much, but it could, you know, it could turn an advantage over ice. You know, I just don't want to give them that information. Um, it's much like poker. It's just like I don't want to give them anything, nothing. You know, it's um, this information's mine. You're free to give me all the information you want, but I'm not giving you any unless you earn it. So yeah, turn, there you go, Bogle. And he sits there and goes, well, what do I do about that? I just imagine this combo deck player just thinking, I can't believe I'm going to get bashed in the face 2 straight games by a slippery Bogle. How embarrassing. That was me pretending to be the other guy's sign. So, a guild gate. So, again, I think the play here is Forest, Lush Growth, Ethereal Armor, Bash for 3, right? The question is, do I do it? Hey, yeah, there you go. Preordain. He just wants to get his combo pieces. I mean, the quicker he's able to pull off his thing, the better chance he has. And the problem with the Ulamog Crusher is it's 8 mana. It's and the way they want to play it, I think, is either to be able to go off with the Fissure first and then drop the Ulamog, or drop the Ulamog and then go off with the Fissure, then attack. You know, but I just don't think they're. I mean, I think that's the idea. I just don't think it's fast enough against an even decent draw on this deck. Forest. I keep drawing land. This is another reason I think I want to get rid of these guild gates and add some more enchantments. I can't drop a land here and play Ancestral Mask, which I think is what I'm going to end up doing. And yeah, this is just a beating. 8/8. First strike. Trample. Oh, I don't have trample yet. Sorry. Just first strike. Down to 9 on turn 3. I don't know how quickly that I can kill with this deck. It probably could be faster. I'd have to figure out exactly what the god draw would be, but creature and a bunch of cheap enchantments pretty much works. And he has nothing. And he quits. Okay. Yeah, he's got no answer. I mean, you know, I'm gonna if I draw anything, any kind of enchantment, it's just going to be lethal damage, and he's got no blockers and nothing. He can't do anything. With this deck, I don't know what he could side in. I just think it's a bad matchup for him, and it's fairly straightforward play for the player of the Hexproof deck. Drop a creature. I mean, especially against this deck when there's no removal. The only removal you ever really need to worry about with the Hexproof is either a black deck with Edict effects or Electrickery, which is a red card. Which, I mean, he could side in. He's got prisms. He's got ways to play that, but yeah, it's just a terrible matchup. But you know, in the metagame, I mean, this is a pretty powerful deck, but I don't see it as, you know, I see quite a few of it actually. Hexproof might be really good for the meta, but I'm not 100% sure. I have to do some research. Well, that's Hexproof versus Fissure Post.